Good afternoon. My name is Jessikah Cunnington. I am the legal representative of my client Michael in this negotiation. I would like to declare that none of these decisions are my own and they are that of my client Michael. I am merely using information that my client has given me in our prior interviews to negotiate this dispute. Any decision made today will need to be brought back to my client to discuss and finalise before it becomes binding.
My name is Richard Lee. I'm appear here as a legal representative for my client, Master, in this negotiation.
The information about the dispute. This dispute is about between Sarah, who is a Buildmasters representative, and Michael, their client. Michael entered into a contract with Buildmasters in August of 2023 for construction of a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, which included an attached 2-bay shed and a concrete driveway worth $700,000. However, there have been significant delays in the build due to a shortage of subcontractors to complete the work. This shortage is due to a lack of skilled workers and the excessive outcry for contractors who are in demand because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Buildmasters stated in their contract that the build would be completed within 9 to 11 months after the contract commenced. However, they have since stated that the build would not be ready until January 2025 at the earliest. This is 7 months later than originally agreed. In the contract, there was a clause which entitled Michael to $400 per week for every week of delay in construction. However, as stated by Sarah, there is a force majeure clause which provided neither party shall be liable for any failure or delay in the performance of its obligations under this contract if such failure or delay is due to circumstances beyond its reasonable control, including but not limited to acts of God, natural disasters, war, terrorism, strikes, lockouts, government actions or regulations, or any other events that are unforeseeable and unavoidable. This clause, according to Sarah, negates any delay payments owed to Michael, as a shortage of contractors is considered an unforeseen event that is out of their control. Michael has experienced economic distress because he has had to continue to pay rent and the mortgage until the build is complete, and he cannot afford to do so. Moreover, Buildmasters is now adding an extra 20% increase on the original agreed upon price of the house.
So, regarding to the delays of Michael, obviously we consider this is something unforeseeable and we can't control because that is due to the pandemic events, or most of the some of the supplier of the material supplier, they collapsed. And also the state government is accelerating some of the large projects like Olympic Stadium and Cross River project. They are competing the same skilled labor and material. And so all of a sudden, if we want to source local labor and the material, the price is basically increased more than 10%. So that's why we think the penalty clause is not applicable to us. And unfortunately, there is a delay there, and we have the client share the risk with us.
Okay. I understand your side of the dispute. I would like to try and resolve this extrajudicially today to prevent any further costs or damaged reputation. Basically, my client has the interest of getting his home built in a reasonable time without incurring any higher costs if possible.
Buildmaster also has the same interest to deliver the process because this is what we do, and we want to keep our reputation. So on behalf of my client, we are offering three different options to consider. First, my client can source additional skilled labor from interstate to address the labor shortage, but that will require the client to pay an additional 20% to cover our costs. Second, we would like the client to consider to reduce the scope of work. So we obviously are committed to provide as much assistance as possible. For example, Buildmaster can offer free estimates on the reduced scope, and we can offer free design service for alternative material and the new scopes. And if this option is combined with the first option, which is we can source additional labor from interstate, it may result in a negative gain that can offset the additional 20% cost increase. The last option we hope our client can consider is the client can source the material separately and engage an additional contractor or other builder to work alongside with master builders to complete the work.
Okay.
So what is your view on that?
Okay, so to address the first solution, would your client be okay with my client trying to source cheaper contractors from out of state or interstate?
Yeah, so in terms of cheap labor, I suppose they cheap with a reason. Most likely they are inexperienced. Master builder has an obligation to advise client to use inexperienced worker or labor for the work will actually affect the workmanship, and it actually will has a long-term maintenance issue with the house. So this is not what the client wants. So build master is not encouraged, or the client and even ourselves will not engage with inexperienced labor. So this is not encouraged.
Okay, so I understand you don't want a reduction in the quality of the work. To address the second solution, my client has given me some options to reduce the scope of the work, to reduce the cost. However, some of the solutions would require them to completely not do certain jobs. So the driveway will be done by someone else at a later time. The fence will be done by himself and a friend that is a tradesperson at a different time. And he has also sourced cheaper paints and I think plasterboard. Yes, cheaper paints, plasterboard, turf, and door and window installations, which reduces the total cost by 6.3%, with a saving of $44,125. Would your client be okay with that type of reduction in scope and a difference in materials?
That's unreasonable, but if we still need to have additional labor come from interstate, we still need to have around 10% addition to cover our costs. If the client still want to have the job done from the 1st of August. So that's something your client can consider.
Okay. My client would most likely be happy to do what was suggested with a 10% increase if it means that the property will be finished construction by August 1st, 2024.
Very good. So it looked like we have achieved a agreement here. So to sum it up, is we do have a common goal, common interest in this negotiation, is to deliver the work by the 1st of August 2024 with minimum cost change. And what acceptable by your client is to slightly reduction in scope and engage your friend or other contractor engaged by your client to work alongside with Build Master. And then because the reduction in scope is not the rest of the scope that is outstanding. So steel masters still need to bring in additional resources or interstate laborers to complete the work. That will incur additional 10%, and your clients also accepted and or can be considered on that. So that is something bill master can accept of the reduction in scope, and we can engage additional interstate labor and complete the work, and then deliver the house on the 1st of August.
That sounds like my client would be happy with that. However,
Exactly.
because there has been a little bit of, my client has been unsure about the proceedings with this build because of what has happened. Like there's been delays. Would your client agree to contacting my client Michael regularly to notify him on the construction progress?
No, the client is happy to supply weekly progress reports on the progress of the work, and also we will supply Michael, the project managers, and one of the directors of Bill Master's personal mobile phone number, so Michael can contact them directly anytime, 24/7.
Yeah, that sounds good, because there was some difficulty contacting Bill Masters for quite a while, and that would sustain more confidence between my client and yours. I think we have come to a decent conclusion. However, I'll still have to go back to my client and discuss this outcome before it becomes binding.
Exactly. So I think for the normal proceeding is after we consult our clients, we can further communicate by email,
Yes.
and in the form of a written agreement and signed by both parties. That will bind our decision today, or the outcome of our negotiation today.
That sounds excellent. Well, yes, so thank you very much for your time today. I'm glad we came to some common ground and we can keep our clients happy.
Thank you very much, Jess. Thanks for your time.
Bye.